Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody, as we are back to kick off the Welsh Esports League. This is the third cup we're doing. It's getting a bit bigger. We're allowing teams from outside of Wales to come in, so we're going to see how it goes. And speaking of people outside of Wales, you got myself, Bigfoot, coming from Newcastle. We got Dante on the right there, standing in for Edgy. How's it going there, buddy? And where are you from? What's your name and where'd you come from?
Where am I going? Ladies and gentlemen, I am Dante. Thank you very much, Bigfoot, for the very gracious introduction. Yes, coming all the way from Ireland. I'm now living in Scotland full time. A little bit of a round trip of the UK before finally. This is my first time doing anything for Wales. Thank you very much for having me. How are we all today, ladies and gents?
Yeah, it's a pretty good league. It's been good. It's the third time round now, and like I said, we're letting people from outside Wales join in, trying to expand the league a little bit. Big up John behind the scenes running things, and also when I'm at it, shout out Kashi, our producer, and Caravan, who will be our observer today. This evening we do have two teams fighting out. We've had one team FF, which is a bit of a surprise. So the team we were going to follow are actually gone, and we're going to be watching the Robins versus the Swans. Swans were the winner of the first season, Dante, and I think it was the Pirates last time, and it's actually I think the Pirates are the team that have FF tonight. So things have changed. It's been a bit of a shake-up to start the league already.
Bit of a workplace accident before the league even really starts. Maybe a little bit of definitely no foul play or anything coming through, but definitely a little bit of added spice, as Bigfoot has said. And yeah, I'm super excited to be here and to witness to see what the Welsh have got up their sleeve. Again, not something that particularly beforehand. You know, it's very nice that the bridging out is starting to happen, because we are going to be seeing then a lot more teams doing a lot more kind of tricky things, doing a lot more kind of taking their own spins on it. I mean, you know, Valorant's very much a game, the team-based style. I'm sure a lot of you are already very familiar with it, but for those that aren't, Valorant's very much a game that until you get to the highest level, where of course meta dominates in the same as every game, Valorant you can very much take and make your own. Some teams obviously kind of come through, make their own composition, then get named after it and proceed to dominate the meta for the next 2 months with it. And who knows, it very well could be one of the Welsh players or one of the Welsh teams in this league. They might find something. They might find the secret trick. They might find something that no other team, even as far as up to VCT, has found.
We've seen some interesting stuff in this league so far. One thing that's been a little bit of a craziness is there's been quite a big team disparity. So we have seen some stompings, and that is part of the reason we're bringing other teams into the league from outside of Wales. And sometimes the teams actually shake up a little bit. So there was the Swans won the first season, but the second season the Swans was actually made up of mostly, or if not completely, different players. Pirates, the team that won last season, they've stepped out, and that's one of the most impressive players from last season off the roster for this season. But the Swans, I'm having a little quick look at the Swans lineup this time. So yeah, there's a couple of new names there again. So the rosters are shifting around as they play under one moniker, a bit like you would get in the VCT or something, or in football leagues where it's the team that stays there, but the players do change.
No, and again, for anyone maybe a bit less comfortable with Valorant, so the roles that do kind of come through, while they are all obviously designed to kind of achieve a specific goal, there is a little bit more flexibility than having 3 distinct roles maybe would initially suggest, or sorry, 4 distinct roles actually. So you've got duelist, sounds pretty self-explanatory. Initiator, again, pretty self-explanatory. Controller, basically your smokes. And then finally your sentinel, again, kind of self-explanatory, but your kind of defense and your shields. But we see a lot of different kind of strats coming through. You know, a lot at the minute's been kind of single fragger, kind of double initiator, these kind of things. And actually, speaking of, well, ladies and gentlemen, they're going to show us what these rosters look like as we jump into the first game, and it's on Bind. Bigfoot, what are we looking at?
This is statistically the map with the most overtimes and the most rounds played in Top Val, and it's actually been quite similar in the Welsh Esports League. This is one of the maps that things do turn out to be a little bit more equal, and that is got quite a few reasons to that. Partly because like the difficulty to execute onto site. Means the attack. That means that when you're defending, you've got the same sort of advantage to hold them back. We do often see double smokes to make that attack a lot easier, and that looks like what we're seeing already. Brimstone and Viper stepping up, make those difficult entries onto site a little bit easier by just clearing out the sight lines for the opponents. And what are you feeling about these lineups so far?
So this is the thing. So it's really interesting to see off because what has just happened recently, and they haven't came through just yet. But the next patch is about to start, and those two raises there that you
Oh my
see,
god.
they may not be common in future games. This may be the last time that we see raises so confidently picked because the patch notes have really made her a lot less effective than she once was, and similarly we did see both Lako and Daki pick Chamber pretty sharp, but Cypher's getting some really nice buffs. So, to be honest, this is a pretty standard comp that you'd see. I mean, it's the exact comp. That's why we do have a mirror. But come the next patch, which is very soon, I believe it's like 3 days. These stacks could be very different going into Bind and going into a lot of different maps.
Yeah, I'm really baffled by the Raze nerfs. They're so hardcore. It's one of the most hardcore nerfs we've seen since Chamber got nerfed just before those it was the Amazon University Esports finals, wasn't it, that we did together, and it was in between the semis and the finals, Chamber got nerfed.
And he got nerfed into oblivion. It was an interesting time to see. But yeah, we're definitely going to be seeing a lot more now because of it. We will also have the new agent coming through as well. But let's talk about kind of what we can see right now. So again, actually, fun fact that I didn't even know that, Bigfoot, about the whole Bind is statistically the most matches, the most overtime. That's a bit of a shock to me, but the more I think about it, the more I can definitely see it. But we are seeing the double controller, so there's going to be a lot of smokes, a lot of carving up sites. The chamber, the trademark radius has been massively buffed, and it has been for a little while now. It does mean chambers actually a kind of sore thumb on this map. Because a lot of stuff you can do with things like rendezvous, as we've just seen from Daki. Things like the trademark setting all the way over in Showers to basically keep that control for free, as we've got a 5 versus 5 tech on the site near enough for free.
Yeah, I think those stats were actually from a VCT that was before the double smoke meta, so I'm not sure if it's still the same. Yeah. Wow. MJT and Halsey going down. They were two players I was going to say keep an eye out for, but
they're missing an eye out for, I can tell you that much. And I mean, yeah, that was a very dominant first start. I mean, that spikes down 5 players to the side. I mean, there's maybe a little short of HP for a couple of players.
Wow.
No way!
Okay, the 1v1 and the right click misses! Oh my days! That was a big back and forth. But the Swans do get knocked down.
I believe Banana has just peeled his way to the first opening round. What was that? I have never seen a right click refuse to land quite as harsh as that. That was real unlucky for Sid. That I'm not a betting man. I would have been fairly confident saying that was a hit.
You would have thought it would have been right clicking then, but yeah, one to the left, 2 to the left, 1 to the right. I think I saw it just completely miss the target.
That's so unfortunate, man. That's such a sucky start. Oh, and that's an even worse. That's an even worse continuation.
Yeah, a problem is definitely starting a problem here as they move up. B-Long just marching their way onto site. Of course, they do have the gun advantage. It's going to be pretty simple to do this, especially now they've taken 2 down. But MJT here with the Sheriff trying to pull some tricks off and does get 1 headshot. Nice stuff. Can there be another one off the back of that? Meanwhile, Halsey is on the other side of the map here.
And unfortunately, gets nothing. But, and Flit and Lako both picking up. There was a lot of confusion going on there because I don't know if anyone's seen, maybe it was just me, I watched MJT accidentally fall into the teleporter, which we then did see a problem and co kind of resort back, you know, kind of retreat back, deciding that A is almost the push they have to go through now because Flit accidentally tripping over his shoelaces and falling into the teleporter. So very quickly you actually had some confusion there. Almost, if no team knows what's happening, how can you counter it?
I mean, Halsey did get Flit down to 23 HP. It was a setup for Daki to finish Flit off at the very least, but of course, again, the gun advantage so different. I do love this spot. I come up here as Omen quite a lot. Don't play Chamber since the nerf myself, so I don't do it as Chamber anymore, but I used to.
Still really effective on Chamber, and this is kind of one of the biggest points of why Chamber, again, I'm really glad to see him that he has found his own kind of spot, because you can see over that. I really thought thought Flit had timed that nade.
That might be partly to do with the teleport time change, you know? He would have, maybe pre-nerf, he would have got out of there. Whoa. Alright, I mean, 3 for 3.
I know, that came out of nowhere, actually. Yeah, the 2 for 2. Now the plants are coming through. And this is the thing where we are seeing from the side, Swansea, the defendant side, by the way. So we are seeing the side of the attackers. It's just a very confident push. Even if someone's going down, there's a continuation, there's an aggressiveness to keep the push going, despite the fact you've maybe lost one of your players, which is so key. Because if you do lose a player and then let that stifle your momentum, you're only going to have a worse time.
One enemy remaining.
Looks like they might get the defuse down finally, as we do have the Robins in their bonus round, but Flit putting a lot of effort in throwing those blast packs over, but will be taken down by Sid as the Swans, with their rifles, get the first round on the board.
Congratulations to them. But yeah, no, I mean, very, very, very solidly played, very patiently played as well. And we're going to start seeing this. I think it always happens a lot in in these leagues specifically, I've noticed, where there's a little bit of confidence from one team and it very quickly becomes overconfidence. There's a bit of confidence for a couple rounds, usually particularly as well when the pistol round happens. There's a little bit of cockiness. There's a little bit of, okay, maybe this team aren't really, you know, kind of picking up what we're putting down. And then usually around round 4, that falls completely because the teams start getting comfortable, they start getting warmed up, and that's when magic really starts to happen. And speaking of magic,
yeah, this Boombox could be good. Yeah, the grenade. It's going to miss. It's going to get the information that they needed, though. Halsey gets a headshot. Halsey struggling to get kills in the first couple of rounds, getting robbed. After nearly getting that classic kill. Wow, what a headshot from Leko.
Speaking of robbery, a beautiful shot from Leko. MJT following right back up, though. This kind of trade for 1-1. MJT wanting on the board. Lives on that board. Holy! And in one fell swoop, Swansea evened up 4 rounds, 4 kills for MJT. That was a string of confidence that we hope to see more of.
Yeah, MJT's got 7 kills already. That's looking pretty comfortable, especially after losing 2 rounds just to catch up so fast and really assert themselves on the defensive side. Forcing the Robins onto a save round as well. They've got full Vandals. They've only just got that 1 half shield, so very, very comfortable. There's some money building up inside the bank as well. Let's see what they do with this eco round. They're going to make that push down A main. It looks like they're toying with the idea, but MJT's sat here holding this angle so comfortably, and it's going to be such an easy headshot for MJT. Is that going to be another? It is. It's 2. Can it be 3? Are they going to re-peek? They're not going to re-peek. The grenade comes out. The blast pack gets them to escape. Sid gets a kill, but Sid does get taken down. But MJT's back on the ball with 2 more headshots, and that's a 4K.
I mean, there's almost a... That was a round where... I say this with all love, you don't need to cast that round. You can just watch MJT swing and kill. You know what's happening. This man is confidence as confidence can be, and he is happy just to think. That's a tick box, is where those is what those heads look like to MJT. That's not shooting someone in a first-person shooter. That is ticking a checkbox, and unfortunately, someone dies along with it. That's unfortunate for MJT.
Very bit of an element of Flit, though. Let's see. Oh, Flit does get taken out, but Flit's still sitting on the showstopper. The showstopper hasn't been buffed though. That hasn't changed. It's all about the grenades, the blast packs. And we had that boombot nerf ages ago as well, didn't we?
Raze has been. I'm actually fairly. I mean, Chamber probably got hit the hardest in kind of one patch, but in terms of like multiple patches, I believe Raze is the most nerfed character ever.
Well, the boombot's like compared to how useful it was, it's useless now. It has its uses now, but compared to how useful it was, it's useless now. Like as a figure of speech, it's useless. But
that thing used to be able to do a figure 8 from like B main into hookah. Like that thing could do an entire Mario Kart race track.
Mate, it used to go that the boombot used to go from Ascent to Bind through Icebox. back through breeze, middle.
It really did feel like that. Speaking
Laco.
of-
This is going to be another easy plant, but the two-man retake might be pretty tricky here. Especially coming from two different sides, so Dak has really got to surprise them here, and oh my day! Oh, so close!
Little bit of panic. It's all up on Daki. Laco trying to add on to another 4K, being like his hero MJT, but there's a lot to do for Daki.
It's hands down my favorite moment in Valorant when I'm playing or casting is someone walking around underneath someone's crosshair and not knowing.
It's for me, it is my least favorite thing when I'm playing because I know I'm about to miss. I know I am about to win. Like when Doctor Strange is looking into all of those multiverses and is like, how many do I hit this shot? None. 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 There's not a single universe that this shot connects. There's just none. And we did nearly see it from Daki. Like there was a bit of a panic on the Brannigan. He got the pick, but I know. It was
so
closer
close.
It was closer than he wanted it to. Speaking of closer than you want it to be.
Oh man, he just keeps on getting taken down with that teleport, innit? That is definitely to do with the nerf on the speed. Here comes the Showstopper, does not get a kill. Showstopper not the best thing from that range, but worth a try. Definitely does clear the site out. Skull MJT here. Showstopper got stolen, didn't it?
It did, I know that didn't get it. And now we've got the big TP coming through. That's really confidently read from the Robins, actually. That's
they're just walking
maybe
on.
an overcommit. Yeah, an over-rotation from Swansea there. And let's see. Halsey immediately going to capitalize on it. Problem trying to make sure it doesn't get too capitalized on, but two ultimates, and they're big ultimates for the side of Swansea.
Swansea's a town in or city in Wales, right?
Yes.
So it's the Swans, not Swansea. I can see how you made that.
Oh!
It's like they've got Swans, Robins, Pirates. They're kind of just like arbitrary names.
Wow. Sorry, I thought it was just Swansea minus the EA. I apologise.
No, it's okay.
I was really operating off of that. I'm
just cutting you short before you say Swansea for the next.
For the next 40 minutes. I know. I appreciate that. Thank you.
It's okay.
And we didn't. And at the end of all that, actually, the Swans only popping one ult. And they didn't even get away with it, to be honest, for them. That's a bit of a shame. They popped the orbital strike. Probably, even though Brim has this kind of fringe uses, orbital strike in terms of kind of single use ultimate may probably still be one of the best in the game.
It's amazing. I mean, you use
Oh
it.
my!
MJT is just playing this defensive aggression that is one of the things that really gives you advantage on bind. Like I said, it can be difficult for the defenders to get on site, and if you can push out and take a couple of their people out, especially if it's one of their controllers, it's going to be so much harder for the attackers to get on site, and that's a great way to play defense if you can get away with it.
And MJT has very much shown that he can, and particularly as well, kind of bringing up the controller to pick off the fight.
Enemy remaining.
A little shake there because he's down to 10 HP.
I think he was a bit unhappy with how long it took for him to land that shot, and Brannigan lines up Halsey at MJT. He's actually, I mean, the Viper's pit's been popped on B from the Swan, so Brannigan's fairly comfortable that he might be able to do this. He's going to plant from Charge, keep himself safe, probably try and play in the back with the orbital strike. We haven't seen any lineups. Don't know if they're happening. But this isn't over and done for Brannigan. I mean, definitely going to have to make some magic happen.
This. I absolutely
That's
love
so
this
smart.
Positioning.
That's so smart. I love this. Yeah,
you can get one kill with a spray, get a molly down, and the ult. He's laughing.
He's down,
They're clearing one smoke.
Oh,
now he's out the
goodness,
smoke. Now Brand's out the smoke. The smoke does drop though. Oh no!
Oh, that's heartbreaking for Brannigan. I believed.
I don't know. That just felt like the fastest Brim smoke ever to me. I know Brim's got the longest smokes, but for some reason that felt like it was like an Omen smoke or something, just like that. Those few seconds faster.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point as well. The most recent patch. So for anyone that doesn't know how Valorant smokes used to work, just kind of put them down. That was it, and then each character that had a smoke had a different kind of length, but those orbs all had differing lengths based on the characters. But what they used to not have, and what they do now, is a little sound cue and a little additional smoke particle effect whenever the smoke's, I believe it's 2 seconds away from dissipating. So what used to happen a lot that people were kind of Some people argued, it was a skill ceiling thing. Some people believed it was just kind of a little bit unfair, that you wouldn't know when the orb was going to dissipate, so you could occasionally make a move or swing a corner, and then a smoke would disappear and you'd just die. But that's been changed, so we'll be seeing a lot less of that, hopefully, happening from either team.
Yeah, those little sparkles are weird. I'm not a hater, but I'm definitely not a fan of that change. I thought it was like a skill ceiling thing. It's something you got to think about. Like it's a tac shooter. Get those tactics out. You've got seconds on the top. Like you can use your head. It's one thing you have to think about, and that makes it a little bit more of a skill ceiling, which I do appreciate. But not hating the change, but I've definitely preferred the way it used to be.
Yeah. I think that's fair, but speaking of the way it used to be, I really think the Swans preferred the way B used to be before there was a spike planting and ticking down on their site, as they are struggling. I mean, again, Robins do have the man down, but 5 versus 4 retake whenever you have to push into Flit, holding that angle with a problem, and Lego following him up.
That was a lot of kills in a very few seconds.
Yeah, it was. That was, I think, 5 kills in the space of 2 seconds. It may have even been quicker.
I'm really loving how neck and neck this is. Like I mentioned before the game started, there has been a few situations in the Welsh Esports leagues where it's been like 13-0, 13-1, 13-2, 13-3, 13-4. Seeing it 5-4 with like really intense back and forth between the two teams is really, really nice to see. And I couldn't predict a winner right now. They're both looking so fresh. And it's I think a lot is actually going to weigh on if MJT can keep this momentum up. Because if MJT starts to lack, then the Robins will just shoot forward.
And that's the thing, because and this is one thing where, like, while obviously MJT's currently putting up on a show, you've got people like Flit and did not matter.
No!
Did not matter that Problem didn't clear, because Flit is right with him. But MJT,
Halsey thought he had the switch on the sky that was in the dog head, but oh no, there's another player. Nightmare.
That was so smart. That was so well. Speaking of well executed, very nice shot, Sid. But that was really well executed. But just again, playing 2 people, making sure protecting your sky while they're droning, protecting your sofa while they're droning. It's really key. And here we have a problem. I feel like this is okay. It's not a knife. Thankfully, the Swans are just going to push in, and while the Robins are going to kind of swoop in, get them trapped, get them caught, and just mercilessly but precisely take them out before they cause any big issues. I was very scared of a knife there from a Problem. There was a little bit of me that thought.
Oh, that's actually maybe my second favorite thing in Valorant is a good old knife, but it falls into the same category of the crosshair being on someone when they don't know.
Yeah, they kind of bleed into each other. Like the Venn diagram, that's the intersection of like a solid knife kill. Yeah, no, I respect that. I do also like the knife kills where you just have your knife out for mobility and you just run into someone and panic and stab them.
Or someone's been upping you all game, and you just jump between their op shots when they're doing the bolt action. And you knife them because you're so sick of them.
It's very satisfying. And speaking, just kind of back to like almost sick of, but in like a polite way, the Robins have been so just. The term escapes me, but they've been they've been so direct, and they've been so just their plays and their pushes have all been so dedicated and so planned and so specific. Speaking of Flit, not gonna get Halsey.
Oh, a problem is definitely a problem as Swans try and rotate. There's going to be a bit of a battle here, and it will be Lou that comes out on top. That is 2 showstoppers, though, that we've missed this game. They've just been stolen by a headshot. There comes the orbital strike, and Leiko does go down. This Viper's Pit still standing strong, though. The Swans try and make it 6-6. The Robins dig their heels in. But with that kill on a banana, it will be the Swans catching up by 1 more point. 1 step closer to securing this half round.
Yeah, that was very much kind of the Lou and Halsey round. That was played really well. You got it like a Viper's Pit is super difficult to push it. It's super awkward too. But if you do have a coordination, it can be a little bit of a kind of like a catch-22 where it's actually starting to negatively impact the team that have put it down, because they are kind of trapped in this square. Yeah, of course, if the Robins kind of walk into it and the Swans aren't ready, or vice versa, they have the advantage because obviously, you know, the enemy's walking into, you know, their Viper's pit. But again, you're pretty confident all the team are going to be in this small wee square. If you do, you know, Sky Flash and Dog and clear it out properly, you might be able to do enough.
Are you old enough to remember Mystic Meg? Rest in peace.
The name rings a bell. No, unfortunately, that's who's Mystic Meg.
So she was on TV making predictions. I was wanting to start a YouTube channel called Mystic Big, and then predict because I've had so many I've had so many predictions about Valorant that have come true. Like I've said they need a moving wall before Harbor came out, and then Harbor came out and they had the moving wall, and I was like, right, now they need someone. Another thing I've been saying is they need to introduce a character that can take the Viper pit down, and this is what ISO can do. He can 1v1 the Viper, and if he comes out on top, the Viper pit goes straight down. So it's another really good counter to the Viper's pit coming out.
That's actually, you're not, you know what? Speaking of really good counters, a problem. Wish he had one there. We were mentioning the showstoppers that weren't stopping many shows. That was one. Daki, heartbreaking for him though, not able to get the pick up on the Lego. MJT now having to do quite a lot. How is he picking up Banana, but Sid with this flank, and it all comes down to the timing on Brannigan.
Nice.
Not going to be good enough. Flit though, immediately reading that and getting the refrag, but 1 versus 3. The Swans know where the bomb's going to be. Yeah, Halsey's just going to stick that. If Flit got away with that kill, I would have screamed.
Yeah, that was some good tracking there. Yeah, really good half. Good to see it hit 6-6. That's a really, really good start to the Welsh Esports League round 3. Loving what these players are pulling out of the bag. Some really, really good dueling going on, not just from the duelists. We've seen some great stuff from all players all over. Really, really, really happy with this start. Welcome back, everybody, for the 3rd round of the Welsh Esports League.
It's so good. It's so nice whenever you start off with a very solid. This isn't a show match by any way, but it feels like a show match. It feels like a showcase of just very solid teams, very solid fundamentals, very solid ability to work together to play off of each other. And then if you're MJT, to just steamroll occasionally. Obviously not all credit to MJT. The rest of the Swans have been doing absolutely kind of beautiful behind him. But MJT had with 2 back-to-back 4Ks, I mean, that's kind of the name you have to mention, at least to start off, as now MJT on the attacking side. This is something you have to fear. A problem though, gonna shut it down.
Yeah, well, MJT was acting like they're on the attacking side in the defensive round, weren't they? So yeah, shut down. That is going to be a bonus for the Robins. Spike is going down though. Daki pushing up towards his smoke. This triple smoke can be pretty awkward. And now it's dropped. They've got to maintain these sight lines. Can Daki spy that head? And he will. Brannigan and Banana go down. And a problem.
Oh my days.
Well, I said if MJT was caught lacking, the Swans might lack as a whole, but when you've got Daki there to get 3 kills like that, oh my god, Leiko as well, though. This is just such an evenly matched game. I'm really enjoying this.
No, we are. And the thing I really like, Leiko understood exactly what was happening. He's seen that the only person swinging him is, of course, this guy now dancing behind Triple. Now Lou just living solely to piss Leiko off. He's done his job tremendously well. But I want to just very quickly point out, Leiko had that read that lineups were happening, and he reacted really smart. He got the pick on the Showers, and he pushed through it. Unfortunately for him, Lou is immediately behind him, shooting him in the back, and then just dancing behind Dice like...
Bird peek. You pull out the bird peek, mate. It's over for the enemy team.
That's exactly what he did, and he did it real well. So the Swans now... That's actually, though, both teams up a pistol round each, and that's, in my opinion, a sign of a truly balanced matchup, is when both teams take 1 pistol round, at least for me.
I don't... Nice. No. Oh, mate, you know, we've been talking about the update. I'm not that bothered about the raised nerfs, but can you guess what nerfs I'm bothered about?
Did Omen get nerfed?
No, the judge is getting nerfed.
The judge is getting nerfed. The judge is getting hit hard. Oh, speaking of getting hit hard.
Not so bad if you're not moving, but I'll quote someone from Reddit. I don't know their username, right? A good shotgun player. That's how the sentence starts, right? A good shotgun player moves around the map looking for engagements.
Oh my.
And so saying that the
shudder.
movement nerfs are terrible because of that. And then obviously there was someone else in the comments. A good shotgun player doesn't exist.
Yeah, there's the standard response I'd expect from Reddit. Also, I'm not sure if Daki's just super confident right now, but you don't get that headhunter bullet back. That's 150 credits gone. If you use that at the start of the round, you can't rebuy it. So that's probably not going to be
Oh my god!
That's heartbreaking.
That was a judge to the head. What happened?
There's the what in all caps.
How?
MJT feels robbed.
MJT, I am with you, mate. That was a judge to the head. Maybe it was just one pellet. We'll have to look in that slow motion. It might have just been the bottom crescent of that circular. I think the only logical explanation it was just the bottom of that crescent that was on the head. It made the headshot sound, but it was just one pellet. That's all I can say.
That's why, and that was a really that was incredibly smooth blast pack movement. Like that really good, very much should have resulted in a kill for MJT, but just not quite there. And I want to say, because this is, and to kind of lean off of what you were saying, Bigfoot, about. Meanwhile, in a different map, the lineups are coming down. But I do want to kind of say, you know what you were mentioning.
Oh, Lou
with a fantastic lurk. I mean, the lineups were going to be there anyway, but that was beautiful. But I do want to kind of mention that point as well. Of MJT, he might not be getting the kills anymore. I mean, that pistol round where he kind of sealed in and got the first one, that was really solid. But to be honest, he doesn't seem to be getting the kind of initial frag as much anymore. But that doesn't matter when the Swans are right behind you. Yeah,
and the Swans have really formed their They were an attacking team in Season 1, an aggressive attacking team in Season 2, and even though the players are changing, the Swans have got this reputation of being very aggressive. Maybe it's been the same coach the whole way through that's just push, but look at this, man. Bang, bang, bang! And it nearly got still. Oh my god, the judge nearly gets Lako as well, but Lako with the headhunter does get 2. Tour de force from Daki takes down Banana, though, so that is 4 standing for the Swans, and they're standing on site about to get the spike down. Bradigan here with a short, he's going to jump out of smoke and get 1, but Halsey answers back.
Halsey answers back, but that is now the spike down. Oh, that's a bit unfortunate. But that is the spike down now, though. And if you look at the map, Swans are very split up here. It all comes down to this Problem getaway. Problem barely walking away with his life. But Sid hasn't planted this bomb, and they've got the read now. It's going to come down to Halsey and his lurk. This is a 50-50 whether the Robins decide to TP or decide to come through spawn, and it looks like they're going to. Halsey, when I say he... Oh, never mind, Sid's coming back.
Yeah, they're going back because Halsey stayed there, so they've got sight now.
I mean, they had this... No, Halsey, you're not... Please tell me that's going to lineups and you're not going back to B. No.
No, he's trying to catch the rotation, but the rotation's coming through the teleport again.
The teleport.
So...
I thought they outbrayed themselves where if they were going to go back around to B and then hear the teleporter from Robins...
Mate, Bigfoot bingo. All my favourite things that happen in Valorant and on this map are all happening. I love this so much.
Speaking of, I mean, it's definitely not happening for Swans as the flash does come through, but the molly. And Halsey knows where a problem is. He knows where that bird tagged him from.
There's 10 seconds. There's not even 10 seconds to get this kill. Halsey needs to get shot in 1 bullet, but it will be Halsey on top. Yeah, a problem had to find Halsey, hit his head, and get the defuse going, man. It's too late now. If the defuse was going to start now, it would not get it. So Halsey holding that down, desperate to find a kill somewhere along the line in that round, and finally gets the most important one.
I mean, again, when you're controller players, all you have to do is control. If you get the smokes down, if you get that kind of site pushed, I mean, yes, obviously you want to be alive for the for things like the lineups. You want to be alive for any kind of additional util that you have. But if you can confidently get your team in and out of sight, which the Swans have been super effective on, and the Robins were equally effective too. But in terms of stopping the Swans getting onto site, they are starting to struggle a little bit.
Love it. Would have waited a little bit longer for comedic effect, but love it.
Just to rub it in. No tactical advantage, just for a laugh.
This is entertainment, isn't it, Danny?
Yeah,
you know, we got to entertain. The players do too. They need to give us some more comedy every now and then. Beautiful trade there.
That was I want to say that was literally both raises with phantoms at that range, two tapping each other essentially. Like that refrag was beautiful. That was so good. And look how the Swans are playing this. And to be fair, the Robins don't have much in the way of A control. It's all going to come down to when Brannigan kind of gets here, what information he can get up on Heaven, because the smokes are down now from him, which is a good call. But yeah, the information is going to start coming down now, but maybe a little bit late as the Swans again on site for essentially free.
Yeah, I mean, once the Swans started attacking, they've just been steamrolling their way onto site, and if they can't, they've just waltzed onto the other one. If they can't steamroll, they waltz onto it. And you saw that double, triple rotation last round. It was double rotation, and it just works so well for them.
I really like how the Viper's pits have been used so effectively for the Robins, and it looks like it's going to be enough. Sid has to get found by Banana here. Beautiful shot. Brannigan, though.
Sid started, but he had to get the next two. And that'll be the first round on the board for the Robins since the Swans stepped into the attacking side. They're going to get two guns into the next round. So hopefully their economy is going to be enough to build up. Let's see what it's looking like. Yep. Looks like the Robins are sitting comfortable enough, although a problem has a bit of a money problem. I'm sure that'll work out and balance all in all. There we have it, yeah. So let's see if the Robins can claw their way back after those 4 dominating rounds for the Swans on attack side.
Yeah, no, and they do kind of have an uphill struggle. I mean, again, they do have the orbital strike to kind of prevent any plant coming down. They do also have it for potential post plant, for particularly B site. One of the most effective post plant orbital strikes, or to even just get the enemy team off the defense, is the garden. So, because obviously garden's such a strong place to hold, but instead, why hold when MJT can move his way to the back of the A site for complete free? Never mind though, Leko, he knows, he understands the assignment, and the assignment is to defeat MJT, which he has completed flawlessly. And now we've seen the orbital strike. Not gonna find anyone though. That's very uncommon.
You've got to be in the middle of lamps for that to be a guaranteed kill. If someone's on the edge of lamps, they can still get out. And getting out of Hooker right now, we've got Sid and Lou going to get the spike down. Free for the Robins, about to rotate as the spike starts ticking. Problem is in Hooker already. And like you were saying, efficient use of the Viper's Pit. A 2v3 is a perfect time to use it, but Flip with the blind spray into the pit takes down Sid.
And he knows where Lou is. No.
That was insane. What a lucky spray.
That's the thing. Arguably not entirely luck.
Did I was about to say, did I miss anything? Because that
the boombot outline. So the boombot triggered as soon as it went into the pit, and the outline stays for the raise player. So all you have to do if you're Flit is stand parallel to the boombot and just shoot straight.
Yeah. And
you follow the boombot outline, and the boombot then tells you where, again, the enemy is. I don't even think there's an outline in the Viper's Pit for them, but again. And this is something where a lot of people kind of do really underestimate, where like, and this happens to me a lot. You shoot through a smoke with a phantom, and you're very confident that, oh, my bullet tracers aren't going through. But people will locate you just from sound and shoot where they think you are. And when you get to a high enough tier where just the sound of you shooting a phantom is enough to give away your location, and we are at that level.
Or if you have high enough tier headphones like myself, mate. There's sometimes I'm spectating people in my team and I'm telling them things they haven't got a clue about, because I've got music production headphones, 300 euro music production headphones, and I can tell you what ground someone's on, what angle they're on from me, just from the headphones, man. It's such a big difference to a pair of 20-30 quid like headset. And I'm not great at Valorant, but one thing I'm great at is locating people through sound because of my high tier headphones.
No, and definitely, I mean, you imagine both Swans and Robins are all using that. And this is something we've seen. This may be the slowest push from Swans that we've seen. There has been no, or at least for, I'd say 8 to 9 rounds, there has been very... Sid's monitor getting turned off by his team, just for that little bit. But there's been no impact, no interaction. There's been no initial kind of frag play. There's no fight, and now the util comes out in spades. The blast pack from MJT actually going to cut off elbow beautifully as Daki follows up for 1 and 2. As a problems flank is not going to create any problems at all. And now the Swans have walked on. And the Robins, to be honest, they had a lot of ults that they could have used. This post plant should have been theirs.
Yeah, really good patience there, and the patience, then the fast execute is a really, really important tactic that I've found very hard to like get low like gold level and below teams to do. They're like, are we rushing or are we not? And it's like, well, you can do both. You can
There
play,
is a third option.
Yeah, you can play a third option where you play slowly until you suddenly rush and surprise them once you've got whatever info you can get. And that is the best, I think. Oh my days! That was such a crucial kill. Really, really nice as well. And is it going to be Lou? It is going to be Lou as the Swans get one more on the board. One away from match point now. The Robins are going to have to pull themselves together and try and get a couple more rounds. They did get 2 before that one, but I think the Swans knew that if they didn't do something a little bit different, it might slip out of their advantage might slip out of their fingers. And we saw them instantly think on the spot and act as they changed up their approach for that round with that patience and then the sudden push.
No, it was really good. It was really effectively played from them. And as well, if you're the Swans, not only you got that round, but you burnt the orbital strike. It was really smart from... I really like the use of it from Brannigan. I really like use it on Hookah, make sure there's no one in there, protect yourself from the post plant. But it was just played around kind of too smoothly. And speaking of playing around... there is no such things going on. Leko, with the swing off the showstopper, does completely shut Daki down.
Well, for once it wasn't MJT, so we'll see what MJT can do out in the rest of this round. Sage has kind of fallen by the wayside on this map as well, like over the past 6 months or so. Yeah, like.
Oh my.
Oh, go on, MJT, go on. One more. No, Flit out on top again. Yeah, Flit's been shutting down MJT quite well this half.
It really has. Credit to him. That was really well executed from the Robins. And that's, to be honest, I mean, exactly what you want to do. I mean, right, when that cut to MJT, I got motion sick. Like, MJT was traveling like 88 miles per hour. Like, I thought he was going to go back into, like, the Valorant beta. Like, I thought he was going to come out of lamps and, like, bind was going to be how it used to look before the rework. But again, that was played so great from the side of the Robins, where if MJT's going to come in, well, we've got 2 people. Leko managed to walk around that judge with like 1 HP remaining, and it was massive for Flit to then follow him up and back him up. So, and we're seeing it again with Banana, and unfortunately, I don't want to call him the Sky, but there we go, a problem. Thank you, I've completely forgot that. Let's see how this works.
Oh, Banana, no! Even a nerf would have made that any worse.
Oh, no! Oh, Banana! No, you can't! Oh, that's heartbreaking. Was that under a stimmy? Was that under a brim stim? Because if it is, the movement can be really tricky, but unfortunately, I think Banana slipped up massively there.
I like that one. That was just discreet. I like it.
Thank you. But that, unfortunately, and that alone has completely shut down Robin's hold, to be honest. Now they've got Swansea have got Hookah for free, and when yeah.
Oh my days, Daki.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that was really beautiful. But Leko is gunning for an ace. One more kill for Leko, and it is an ace. The first ace of the match coming out from Leko in defense, absolutely clutching it for the Robins there.
Oh my days. Leko has just turned it on. I don't know if it's his monitor, I don't know if it's his wrist guard, I don't know if it's his extensively researched gaming chair, but whatever is on, it has just been turned on in full. That was beautiful. There was no hesitation there. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and all from really different angles. He swung into a crouch peek. He killed MJT up on tube. There were 2 people he shot through each other. Like, that wasn't an easy ace to do, and it made it all the more beautiful to watch.
Yeah, and a little bit of behind-the-scenes info for viewers here. The Robins have got 2 substitutes today. They've had 2 players absent, and they've got 2 substitutes. And Leko is one of them.
Really? That's the sub?
Yeah, that's a sub. Leko and a problem are subbing in. It's Brannigan, Banana, and Flit that are on the actual roster on the website. And here we have the Swans trying to answer back and get onto match point after that crucial ace from Leko. And the Robins are down to 3, but the Swans are down to 4.
That's a really interesting shot. I think Banana, I don't think that was necessary. The Viper's pit, he tells them exactly where you are. It's a good enough shot. Flit has to do 2 more. And he's going to catch Daki looking away,
but God, so
but
close.
Lou Lou with a beautiful hold of the position there. Didn't panic, didn't get concerned. He knew, I assume he knew how much health that Flit was on. So all he had to do was wait and hold up. And now these Swans are on match point, ladies and gents.
I think the Robins can put it back.
I believe.
I think they need to hold themselves together. I think they need to lean a little bit harder onto Lako. After that, man, look at Lako's kills now. It was behind MJT, but one ace, now the top fragger of the lobby.
That was so good. And every time you cut to MJT, he's literally in the air. I don't think he's been in the ground once when we've cut to him. I don't think Korriban has managed to... That's not Korriban's fault. That's the fact that this man just gets air juggled. Like, you've seen the ball in Rocket League in high play. That's MJT. He's the ball. Speaking of the ball, Lako's the ball.
Oh, no.
Shut down, though, by Daki.
What an answer from Daki. That might have sealed the deal for the Swans right there. But can the rest of the Robins answer this question that the Swans are asking? Still 4 for 4. A little bit of spray coming out from Heaven there, I think it was. But yeah, Banana,
Heaven,
Viper's Pit could help with the retake. A little bit better defensively than aggressively, but it can really secure the area around the spike when needed.
Yeah, I really like it as well. This could be last match. Like, this could be post-point. Now, Halsey's gonna got the Brimble. It all comes down. Can Banana hide in that corner? No, he can't, as he falls. MJT following up with a problem. The lineups as well are still going to be there. The Brim Molly probably about to land on the spike any second. Robin's 2 versus 4. 2 versus 3 with that kill from Flit. The tap from Brannigan's good, but unfortunately Flit needed that onto Lou as Halsey swings through from Showers and takes that 13-10 in a hell of a close first game.
Yeah, that was really close.
Awesome.
The Robins,
awesome.
Yeah, Robins looked like they could have taken that back at that last minute, and like I said, leaning on Lako. If Lako didn't get taken out there in the last minute by Daki, things could have been a little bit different there. If Lako got the kill on the Daki, that round could have gone so different.
And that's the thing, 'cause I want to mention like what you said about the fact that like MJT, like Flit was really good at keeping MJT actually like pretty restrained. I mean, MJT, don't get me wrong, was still doing a lot of really impressive stuff, but you'd point out. But then we seen like Daki and Lako were really keeping each other, you know, like kind of it really felt like everyone in both teams was mirror matching their like counterpart incredibly well in a lot of circumstances, and that's a joy to watch. And I think that also creates a really good energy for the teams, because obviously you want to be the better Sky, you want to be the better Brimstone in the lobby, you want to be the better Chamber, the better Raze, and I think that kind of thing is something that both those teams really worked with and showed quite extraordinarily.
Yeah, really good competition. MJT going crazy, almost. I mean, you know, I was telling you I was playing Apex recently. I had to stop because it was just like sensory overload. It was like halfway between
colorful.
Yeah, Valorant and Overwatch. There was just too much going on, movement too fast. So I came back to Valorant. It's nice to just calm down with more of a like positioning game than the movement game, and then MJT's just switched that up again like, so much this game. Like,
hey, so we playing Titanfall, anyone? I mean, while the rest of the lobby, no, we're not. Why is MJT in the sky? Why is he Team Rocket? Why is he blasting off again?
But that's what those satchels are for those double satchels, getting to the back of sight, especially if you got that judge, pushing those people that are trying to hold lamps, getting a headshot that doesn't actually get a kill.
Oh, that was rough to watch. And actually, very quickly, speaking of the judge, just because I want to say, so the nerfs actually are the spread, as Bigfoot very kindly mentioned, but importantly, which is actually massive, the magazine size is dropping by 2. And the magazine size was only at 7 before. It's going to 5. So to essentially ace with a judge, you have to one-shot everyone, which is actually quite difficult. The 7 shots in a magazine did give you a little bit of room to do something like MJT, where despite the fact you only shot the head, we didn't actually see how much damage that did, so I'm quite interested to see if we can find that out. But yeah, that was like, you know, with that coming down as well, a map like Bind I think is really going to change in the future, which I'm super excited about.
Yeah, things are a lot's gonna change, and one of my comments in the discussion on Reddit was I have definitely got far too many kills jumping up and down on Haven for A Heaven. Like especially when there's like a bottleneck from a sage wall or something, you just stand beneath it, jump and shoot, and you kill so many people. And so the jumping spread, I'm happy to kill. Like that's fine. But the
Yeah.
walking and the running spread coming down, getting increased so much, I'm not happy about that. I think that doesn't really make much physical sense, and also for the meta, I think it's okay to have people moving with a shotgun and like not increasing the spread too much. But
yeah,
you know, they know better than me. Riot have so much deep data, and you can access this data yourself. So you can access the data for like a season, see how many guns were used and how many rounds, what the win rate was, what the average kill death ratio was, and it's really interesting to have a look at these stats, especially when there's been a big shakeup in meta.
Yeah, which I think we're going to be seeing. But right now, at the moment, while we calm down and while I cheer up Bigfoot from the judge nerf as well, we'll cut to a short break, let the teams everyone kind of get through. But when we will be back for another game. Bigfoot, what are we coming back to?
I'm not sure. It's been a bit of things have been shaken up a little
bit of a shake up. That's
yeah,
right. So
we'll find out. It was with the Pirates FF, man. They just didn't turn up, so things have changed. We were looking forward to following last season's winners, and they're just not even here.
Well, who knows? Maybe they'll be back soon. But anyway, until I guess while we decide or while we come up with what the plan is, we will see you all in a very short little while.
See you soon. Welcome back, everybody. Welsh Esports League Season 3. Just had a belter of a match between the Swans and the Robins. My name is Bigfoot. I'm here joined by Dante. How's it going there, buddy? Did you enjoy that first match?
That was really sick. We've had a really nice break. We've had a lot of time just to see what we're going to be following along with, seeing what we're doing. But first of all, I know we do have to talk about the game that we just had. It was a really beautifully close game. It was on bind between, as Bigfoot's mentioned, and yeah, super interesting stuff going on. A lot of really, pretty standardized plays. At this point, obviously, and at this kind of high level, the comps were obviously mirrored. They'd be what you expect, double controller and things. But we did say, and I mean, to be fair, there were other names. I mean, Leiko definitely popped up near the end, but MJT and his time-traveling shenanigans, that man's raise is by far the fastest I've ever seen at this type of level. That was scary.
Yeah, how many hours in customs is what you sometimes get asked in the game. When you play Raze like that in a public lobby, the enemy team, you'd be like, come on, mate, how many hours in customs? Like, how many hours you sat there with infinite blast packs just bouncing
getting
around
this
the
movement
map?
down. And it's tough. It's not easy to do.
No, I just started playing Raze recently, and I barely even tried to double blast pack.
You just go, I sometimes get away with it, but I always find myself going straight up. That's
Right.
what happens
Yeah,
for me.
yeah.
The first
You
satchel
need the
goes
angle.
well, I throw the second one down, I just go up and just plant down in front of someone and get shot in the head.
Yeah,
That's the way my
MJT really
satchel
killed
goes.
it. But Leiko, you did mention Leiko. Leiko did come out on top in overall kills in the end, I think. Definitely massive part to do with an ace that happened on defense that was really good. Leiko actually had a huge econ rating of 100 as well. But top of the leaderboard was MJT, you're right, and that was an ACS of 350. Pretty good. 25 kills, 20 deaths, 6 assists, econ rating of 81, 8 first bloods. So yeah, especially on defense. I actually think most of those first bloods were on defense because MJT was a bit of a comedy show on attack. Like blast backing in and just getting a headshot with the judge but not the kill. Like, what is that?
I think that's going to live in his nightmares. I think that's going to live in that man's nightmares.
Oh,
That was a
it happens,
rough
man.
shot. He's
gonna
happy the
happen
judge is
more.
getting nerfed.
But how much more is that going to happen with the nerf? Because the circle, I don't even say crosshair with the judge. It's a massive circle. So the circle's going to be so big when you're in the air that if you want to play double satchel judge, you're probably going to want to have to land on your feet and stop moving before you shoot people. And that's not really practical.
It's really not, but to be fair, I mean, again, a lot of people, and this is the kind of thing where, depending, again, MJT, we've seen a lot of, there was a couple really fast swings with the Brim stim pack as well, where any sort of additional movement speed, even just a couple extra frames that you get from, point A to point B, in a tactical shooter like this, where obviously most people's movements, Neon and Jet and things like that, obviously with their movement abilities are these slight exceptions, but a Brim can only swing an angle two ways essentially. They can only either swing it really close or they can swing it super wide. There's no real kind of, so once you've understood those two speeds and you get good at flicking both wide swings and small swings, it all comes down to then the kind of your double swings, your jump peaks, your everything like that. So it will be interesting to see, but kind of jumping back to it, yeah, characters of MJT's level with the blast packs, they might be able to have awkward enough movement, but there's a lot of bullets in a Vandal. You got to miss them all for MJT to land and comfortably get a shot off on you in a way that's hopefully resulting in a kill.
Yeah, it's 5 times as many as you get in the new judge, pretty much. Is that right? Is it 25 in a Vandal clip?
25 in
right?
a Vandal, 30 Phantom, and now 5 in the judge. Bucky's still sitting with
Okay.
8, I think it is.
Yeah, I'd like to see a Bucky buff, to be honest, especially with the judge nerf. But the Bucky's been nerfed a little bit as well, so it's just it's all over for the
For the shot.
good shotgun players.
No. There are genuinely
Like
good
me.
shotgun. Yeah, exactly. Like us.
Yeah, bro, come on, you're how many ranks above me? And I nearly had you when I was playing Omen shotguns.
Oh my god! I don't talk about the open shotguns. That was just terrifying.
It's cheeky, but that's what I mean.
It was
It's,
so cheeky. It was so cheeky, but that's.
but that might be why it's nerfed, because it brings it is actually you don't want maybe you don't want things in the game that close a skill gap so sharply.
It's really difficult because there's a lot of situational changes happening. I want to say, and correct me if I'm wrong, but in terms of a gun that's had the most, so I talked about agents. I think Rhea's since the game's life cycle and stuff. I think she's had the most nerfs. In terms of gun, am I right in saying it'd be the Stinger?
Stinger's useless now. Yeah.
Like the Stinger's been
Stinger
the Stinger's been hit a lot.
maybe Bucky. I heard that before I started playing Valorant that the Bucky was amazing.
Oh, there was there was the whole like controller player frenzy back in the day. That was ages ago. Yeah, I remember that. The Bucky died for the controller player's sins. That's what I always looked at that as.
But yeah, I only started playing Valorant after it'd been out for about a year or so. When I first got shown it, I was like, yeah, this is the game, man. I was casting Rust and PUBG Mobile, but I saw Valorant, I was like, yep, this is the one.
This is the beauty. And speaking of, I mean, we're going back in. So at the moment, we're still waiting for the picks and bans, as far as I believe, but we are following back with the Swans. So that'll be really interesting to see. And then they're going against a Bigfoot and I were discussing this kind of in the green room just before it went live. We're not quite sure if this is a joke or if it's a very serious name, but the esports organization name Esports.org.
It's too many syllables.
That's so many syllables. That's so
three syllables.
Esports.org.
Swans. You know, all these. We got swans.
Robins.
Actually, there is pit ponies, but yeah, it's also how on the nose can you get? Can you get any more on the nose than calling you Esports.org?
Esports.org. I think. Well, right. This is the thing as well. Actually, I don't know if anyone's noticed it. It's a slight tangent, but has anyone else noticed to start a lot of just names in their various games they play, whether it's like Valorant or other games? Are there a lot of game enjoyers popping up in anyone else's lobbies, or is that just me?
I've never seen that. No.
Really, just with the IG, just game enjoyer.
I mean, I do love
the
enjoyer meme. It's great. And we're going to switch over to the game now. Speaking of game enjoying,
we are going to.
I'm a bind enjoyer. I'm a Swans enjoyer. So we're pretty much back.
What have I started? I'm sorry,
so,
ladies and gentlemen.
I think this Esports.org,
which one?
that goes by the name Esports.org, is all new players to me. I don't think I've seen these guys and gals before. I'm just gonna check, double check on the internet their lineup now, because this is a new team entering into the EsportsWales Welsh Esports League. So that's good. But you will see on the side of the Swans exactly the same lineup that we just seen. It works with it. If it's not broke, don't fix it.
No, you don't. Meanwhile, though, the Esports.org are wanting to make their mark. They are wanting to do something a bit wacky, a bit crazy. We are seeing the only two characters that look like they're going to match between Esports.org and the Swans is Brim and Reyes, which I feel like are your two kind of definitive players in terms of buying. Just Reyes with her ability to clear lamps and lamps and hookah and things. She's just so strong. But we are seeing again, and a very crucial difference, single controller from Esports.org.
Choose your agent.
So we'll have to see how that goes for them, because that could either be like super feast or famine. They could either have a great time with this, or they could really be shooting themselves in the foot.
So just looking on the EsportsWales website, we can see that Esports.org are all English. They're all quite young. I think they're all below 20. Whereas the Swans, Bubs is 21. Swans are listed a little bit older than that, like 21, 22 ages. MJT is listed as 53 years old on the website. I'm going to try and get that confirmed, because that is some gaming.
That's the age of my dad. That's Dad Dante right there.
Why can't Dad Dante?
That's wildcard Dad Dante right there.
You need to get him into the Valorant leagues, mate. Get him into the Welsh Esports League.
I think my dad would be great in the Welsh Esports League, because he doesn't know who he's shooting at half the time. Friend or foe.
This is crazy. Sorry, I was actually tabbed out, so forgive me a second while I just gorp at this agent lineup.
Yeah. Oh, did you? Yeah, I was
Fade,
saying
Cypher, and Reyna.
Very different.
This is awesome. This is going to mix it up a little bit. I love it.
And this is the thing. And so going back, because we've obviously mentioned Ray's getting nerfed with a new patch notes, the Judge getting nerfed with a new patch notes, but there is a big winner from the upcoming patch notes, and it is Cypher. So Croto's agent is going to be getting some, I'd say, pretty mad buffs, and he's actually just had a really recent incredible buff, which was his ultimate. So his scan doesn't cancel when he dies. Yeah,
and the tripwires were extended so far.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was a little bit further before that, but yeah, still a massive thing to talk about.
And so what's happening? Do you know what's happening with the new Cypher buff?
Yes, so the new Cypher, hang on, we will run through, first of all, let Esports.org and Swans take this initial push.
Oh,
We
I'm
Arcane,
buffering.
very standard. A little bit of a buffer, but there we go, a little standard.
Good,
The
good.
stim pack coming through, the Trailblazer affected by it, MJT going in.
Come on, mate.
I mean, oh!
No, stop it, MJT.
No, and this is what happens, and this is why Raze is so powerful. So Cypher's meant to have the tripwires, the setups are meant to, you know, obviously kind of prevent that, but the blast packs destroy, and that's something else that's gonna come through with the Raze nerf, is like her util isn't gonna impact
Yeah,
other utility as
250%,
well.
250% damage down to 100. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's not gonna be MJT. Doesn't matter whether it's your utility or whether it's just the ghost. It's gonna be enough for MJT as Halsey finishing Mizio off with a very, very convincing first attack and round.
Mate, MJT's playing like a 17-year-old.
I
need to confirm this listing on the. This is really
is
impressive
that
stuff
like,
to see.
that's like attached to your mind? That's living rent free in your head that MJT's 53.
Well, it's like I think I'm slowing down because I'm like 34 and I'm like, oh, I'm too slow to play Valorant. If MJT is 53,
MJT is becoming
I'm
your hero.
I'm gonna go pro in Valorant.
Bigfoot, 80 years old, in the retirement home, and this man
rapping and playing Valorant.
This man has got some double satchels, the likes of which you wouldn't believe. And speaking of double satchels, it's not going to be.
There
Speaking of,
let's go. There's no one there. If they've had the foresight to have someone watching the previous game, they'll know what's going down.
that's interesting as well, because it's a good point to make up. As EsportsOrg do see how the Swans play, they do know their comp, they do. Oh, and that's a right click from hell. But it is all going to come down to whether Muzio can get the second one or just get out. And it looks like they are.
Well, picked up a Guardian though, so that is a pretty good upgrade. MJT gonna sit inside the teleporter with the judge. Love to see it. But it does look like the rotation. Actually, where's the you got all 5 of EsportsOrg just sat on A, and they're starting to come through spawn now. But is anyone going to come through the teleporter? We do need to see if MJT is going to get this. Going to debate in it.
They heard the door open.
Oh no! You didn't stay there long enough.
That patience is massive. The TP actually came off because MJT opened the door, but it doesn't matter when he's opening your skulls.
Judge Ace, Lou, stand back. Lou, go home.
No,
Lou, get back and go. No, oh, the Judge Ace.
The Judge Ace is gone. So, right, while we have some breathing space, really solid, very quickly, really solid attack round from the Swans. Really excellent kind of adaptation there to move over to the B site when they realized the A site wasn't working. Little bit of a slow push from EsportsOrg to kind of cover, but Cypher, what's changing? Cypher, so his tripwire, for anyone that doesn't know, at the moment what happens is the tripwire catches you, highlights you in like a bright orange, whether it's through smokes, through walls, so like everyone can see you, and then it stays like that for a second and a half, and then stuns you. So like you walk really slowly, it's all difficult. That stun, I think, is getting double timed, so that's lasting 3 seconds. What's also happening is the tripwire then re-enables. So it used to explode, and that would be it, like single use. The tripwire takes 0.5 seconds and then reactivates. So it used to be that, yeah. So it used to be like if you activated Cypher's tripwire, like if you activated 2 tripwires, you were fine because he could only put down 2 and they were single use. Now, if you don't break them and someone gets killed, he can get a follow up.
No.
Yeah. It's mental.
Because
like,
I sometimes
really
double tripwire to catch 2 people.
Which
So, like,
which may start becoming even more on catching 2 people. MJ, just run away, just run back to spawn. No, Misio.
Oh
He
no!
lives.
Misio down at 15 health though. Wow, that showstopper nearly getting the kill in.
No spike planted though. There's still a bit of time for EsportsOrg, and they're up 2. Surely this is them. It'll all come down to this smoke. And that's beautifully played by Dan.
Last player standing.
Oh, Kurokawa, very good. Very nice shoot.
So this is sort of inverse to what the way the Swans had it last time. They were defending first. They let the attackers get 2 rounds on the board. They got 1 back. It's basically the opposite. They're attacking first. They got 2 on the board and then let 1 come back in the first rifle round. Swan's strength definitely lies in attacking. They have had that taken away from them when they had the lesser firepower just there, especially losing a Guardian, quite a bit of money in that second round to a pistol.
Yeah.
Yeah. love Cypher setups, man, when they work. But it could be like there's obviously so many memes out there of Cypher just sitting on a site with no one coming, and that's Cypher and Killjoy mains must know the pain of just not really being involved in some games at all.
Yeah. It can be really rough as well. You also get that it doesn't happen as much, but if you notice, there's some controller players where like they'll get 10 assists in 2 rounds because people push through their smokes and die, and then sometimes they're not getting anything. Like they have 1 assist the whole game because their smokes like are just being played around or being like really passively played. And I think it's a really smart way to be doing it. You know, like there is. Speaking of really smart way, I really like that. I really like that kind of position there with the double from elbow to kind of hold through. If it does push, unfortunately though, JK does push out, and Daki's going to get the pick because of it.
Can't believe the tripwire rearms. That's such a cool. And
I
you know,
love
it's been about a year. It was November 22 when Cypher got his first wicked buff. So it's like this can't happen next November. I think he's had enough.
Well, that's the thing, you would think, but he's still a very unpopular set. I mean, please, can someone buff Sage? Please, my girl, please?
Yeah, Sage could do a buff the wall or something, I don't know.
And then Deadlock, who officially just doesn't exist. Are we fake planting this? Have Swans tapped?
Finally to Kroto. But Kroto's going to die before... This is the thing as well, you die sometimes before they even touch your tripwires, and then now they just walk through them. It's terrible. That would have been an interesting buff for Cypher, is if the tripwires stay alive after you're dead.
Could have been possible. I think probably just a little bit too strong. But then again, who's currently does stay? There's someone that does, and they kind of break the sentinel rule.
Oh wow! 1 second left to get that spike down. Beautiful, beautiful stuff there from the Swans. Really good game sense to make sure that did make it to the plant site just in time, and I'm not sure if EsportsWales are going to be able to do much about this. See, in high levels of Valorant, you might just see an automatic save, but they're going to walk in with these Vandals and most likely lose them, but I do like the guts and the attempt. It's just going to be so hard, especially with this double angle here, and it's all over. Oh, so Misio does get 1 though, but it's not going to continue as Sid trades out, and they get 1 kill but lose 2 Vandals. Maybe that's worth it, maybe it's not. We shall see as time tells, but I mean, EsportsWales got plenty of money in the bank there to restock themselves. Swans, actually, yeah, maybe it was worth taking that 1 Vandal just. I'm not sure. It's hard to say. It's very, very small, minor details.
It's such a minor detail. I think while the ultimates are still looking to go online, I think it's best just to take the fights. If you can get more, if you can kind of ruin the econ of the Swans just to kind of get yourself back up in tandem with obviously the ultimates being online, what you can force is a beautiful headshot from Sid. I just had to pause and let that sink in. But what you can force is like a lower utility grade, which means that a higher willingness to like a higher willingness to use ultimates. Which is what you maybe... So, like, if you force them to have a lower econ, they might say, we can still take this round, we just have to expend an ultimate. And in most cases, if that happens, you're like, that's...
Daki.
Yeah.
That was not the Daki we saw last round.
No. Not even close.
There's a small update on Prowlers as well. So Prowlers will jump over foot height tripwires, and they'll duck under head height tripwires. So Fade's Prowlers won't get hit so much. And it's the same for the Trailblazer, the dog. But 4 kills there for Sid. That was really good stuff. But it will be J Monkey getting that final trade out just before Sid secures the ace, and that's going to be 2 for the EsportsWales. 3 for the Swans. Another tight match. Here we go.
I'm so excited. I'm so happy these matches have been close. That's super interesting. I want to go back. So are you the Sky Dog doesn't, because the Sky Dog's controlled. There's no way it like auto
Trailblazer adjusted Trailblazer's collision, so it's not the control. Collision, so that goes under trap wires placed at mid height. This won't affect the hitboxes for weapon damage. Prowler adjusted Prowler collision so that they go over trap wires placed at foot height and under trap wires placed at head height.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So what I imagine that is just the overall position. I thought you meant the Prowler adapted. So if there was like a tripwire at mid height, the Prowler would adapt and duck under it. And I was like, wow, that's mental if that's true.
Oh, just imagine if there was like a mid height, it just wouldn't catch it if it was mid height.
The hitbox.
So it's actually just quite a large hitbox, yeah, on the Trailblazer.
Speaking of large hitbox, MJT being the largest hitbox you can, attach a Phantom to that man, to that rocket of a man, and all of a sudden you'll pick something instead. Again, using just nothing but audio to get that kill.
I know, Croto's having a little bit of a meme game here, getting taken out before we'll be able to get too much off the Cypher utility, and that is a beautiful shot there from Bubs as MJT gets taken down. Big kill. Halsey gets seized, and that will also be taken advantage of by JK Monkey there. Free standing as the esports org move in and try and get that extra kill, but we've seen it last round, we'll see it again. Okay, the lineups are strong on the Swans. Okay, it's disinformation, mate. MJT's not 53 years old. I think they're just memeing on the foot player forms.
If he's 35, that's still pretty good.
It's not going to happen, mate. I'm never going to be a pro Valorant player. I'm going to
No, believe. Speaking of pro Valorant player, though, Kodo Kua.
Nice.
Very good stuff. That was really well played from them. And again, it was a beautiful shot as well. It's always quite majestic watching the molly sail through the air. Thank you very much for our obs for that. Because that was a beautiful shot to show off. I feel like your heart is broken. Mate. I feel like
it was. I know. Well, I was getting my hopes up that you might see me raising a cup at VCT for a second there, but no. Back to the previous assumption. Well, not assumption. Assertion that I'm too old.
No, no one's too old. It's fine.
But we need to, you know, like I've actually seen people like seriously suggest this, and it's not a joke, and I'm fully on board of it. Like esports leagues for people like above 30 or 40, like maybe even above 50. Like, why not?
I mean, it's just I think a lot of them still are in the precognition of video, like of their understanding of video games, which some of them aren't, but some of them are. And speaking of your cognitions about video games, there's a bunch of judges coming in, and it's all gonna the timing.
Nope.
Bombs, though.
Croto gets one. Come on, Croto. Keep on going.
You've got such a crush on that man because he's holding a judge.
And just because he keeps on getting taken down before any of his util gets used.
He has been having a rough one. Lou actually fighting as well, bailing out. And how's he getting on the monkey? This should not be happening. This should not be happening if you are the esports org. The esports org. This is a beautiful lurk, though. This is such a beautiful lurk. Don't panic. Oh my god.
Kurakawa. Not like being the super aggressive MJT equivalent of a duelist here, but getting some really important kills and like when they matter as well. That was really good to put that spike down. Now we've got Halsey only on 17 HP. This should be pretty simple for esports org. And
Seekers as well recently, additional ult orb expanded now. Got nerfed. I think they are now 8. I think they used to be 7. So again, massive ultimate to expand. And to be honest, actually, I really like this. This play is beautiful from esports or Kurakawa now getting the information that the plant's going down. It all comes down to if Halsey can hit this shot or not. It really comes down to it. This is super tense. The mollies, they expend the night. That's a waste. If you're Swans, you're so happy with this.
Ooh.
I think if you're Swans, you're super happy. That was like sheriffs and things. There was. And the Nightfall as well is another thing that recently got nerfed. I think it's up to... Is that? No, it's up to 8 points, I want to say.
17 HP as well. There's no need to pull the out of the bag, is there? Yeah.
I think that was just a little bit. I mean, granted, get the round. Like, again, getting a round is the most important thing in Valorant. Anything else, But if you're wanting to talk about, your foresight and your ability to do some things later in the round and later in the game, that's quite a heavy cost to incur. And now the most beautiful part of any start of game is watching to see what the wacky Cypher can come up with. As we move on, it's round 8 already.
Yeah, it's been smashing it through. I mean, they're playing quite fast. Esports Org are taking the lead as well, and that's with Swans on attack. Remember, so I mean, FJT storms into sight again. 53-year-old.
That was a gorgeous shot as well. That was some eye candy for the audience. Thank you for that, Cora. That was beautiful. Oh,
Coroban's the best, man.
Let's
go. JK Monkey, 2 more kills. Are we going to get the second ace of the night?
And the Cypher, the neural theft.
Oh no.
This is...
JK Monkey, though, down at 1 HP now inside this Viper pit. Gonna stand outside and get another 4th shot, but Halsey is actually coming out of Hooker now. Come on, JK Monkey, get yourself back round to Hooker. Monkey, get the kill. Monkey, oh no, Monkey doesn't as Halsey answers back. Croto's defusing, and it will be Croto with a blind spray headshot on a Halsey.
Beautiful stuff, and all of a sudden esports org taking double rounds to go above the Swans. They are soaring gracefully. Sorry.
Well, you know, they opened the doors, the floodgates, to let teams outside of Wales join the league, and this is what happens.
This is what happened. The floodgates are open. I think is soaring gracefully. Is that what John Travolta does?
Soaring gracefully. What are you talking? I don't know, mate. Is
I
that a
said
meme I've
gracefully
missed?
instead of grace, and now I've got Grease the musical stuck in my
Grease.
head. It
Oh
was,
right, I've got you.
it was a terrible joke that was
No.
like 4 layers deep, and I wanted to say it.
But I'm glad I caught up in the end.
Oh, speaking of catching up,
Right, now Croto is actually getting the util in the right place. And that's one of the
Yeah.
things that Cypher's amazing for, is slowing down a Jet or a Raze dashing onto site if you can make the call of where they're going to come through. For example, you can put your tripwire halfway up the window of Hooker and catch a Raze in midair.
yeah, it's really interesting. Like, as the Cypher player, do you put your tripwires in like normal positions that, like, in theory will be successful? Oh, beautiful shot from Bob's, playing off of the reload from Halsey really effectively there, using the audio really smart. But yeah, do you put your tripwires in like normal places where you're pretty confident you can get someone, but you might not get the follow up, or do you put it in a wacky place that will definitely pull MJT back to earth?
The wacky places are so fun.
It's so
fun.
I don't think because am I right in saying like it suspends you? Like if you are caught by a tripwire and you fall to the ground but it's too long, the tripwire pulls you back up, and that was to do with because Cypher traps used to break. Oh, Croto's insane. And it used to happen where like Cypher traps would break if you like jet dashed out of them.
No way, Croto.
He's confident. I'll give him the neural theft as well. Yeah, Kurokawa knows the score. But it used to be it broke the tripwire if you like got too far away from the tripwire. And then they changed that so the tripwire would pull you back. So you'd see a lot of like jet dashes where they try and dash in and the tripwire would like whoop.
Yeah.
It was
I
like a
saw that
slingshot.
there's some really tricky trick shots you can do with the C's as well. However, it's a numbers game, and it's really hard to land those. And as fun as they are, they're kind of what you save for making YouTube compilations. They're not what you want to be playing in serious competitive games.
But there are some of them that are very wacky. But that was, I honestly want to say, right, with a name like EsportsOrg, I will be 100% genuine. My expectations were a little bit low, because EsportsOrg kind of tells to me it's a little bit of a joke name. It's a little bit of a, but they've came in swinging. I'm really impressed.
Pretty sure a team called Big Chungus won quite a big.
Oh, did they?
They quite a big LAN recently on a Rainbow Six Siege. Yeah.
Go on. Okay, maybe that's just me and my outdated ways. Maybe you can have any wacky name. That's just slow. Look at the double play. Croto as well. Meanwhile, like, look at this. Like, we're sitting there on B side. Look at Sid.
Oh, Croto.
That's heartbreaking. Sid just able to walk through, and that's interesting because we don't see where the tripwires are. So we can't see him. Mijio now having to get the fight with Sid. Sid kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. Unless that spike goes down, he can get somewhere moved out. But yeah, Lou trying to back him up. The showstopper. Come on, Mijio, you can get this.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice. Showstopper's looking good in this round so far.
Still no plant.
Say round, I mean match. Plant will. I mean, yeah, there was a bit of a. When is the spike going to go down?
Yeah.
It finally does go down, but there's still 27 seconds left. It actually felt there was about 5 seconds left, to be honest. But there we have it. EsportsOrg storming back on the site, and now ahead in this half 7-3. So there's actually no chance that the Swans can equalize. Best they can hope for 7-5, but EsportsOrg aren't letting up.
They're really not, and to be honest, I mean, maybe something, Bigfoot, that you can kind of point my mind to, because you've always kind of been very much the stronger of the analytical of us, but has there been anything that's actually changed from either EsportsOrg or Swans to reflect this sudden burst of energy? I mean, that's 6 rounds in a row that EsportsOrg have now, but it feels like it's been very, and this is no discredit to them, very standard Valorant.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say it was a sudden change in round 5 or anything, but I think one thing that Swans might be struggling with is the weird comp. They weren't expecting this comp. They weren't expecting a Reyna. They weren't expecting a Cypher. They weren't expecting a Fade. There's util here that they haven't really practiced or played for, and this is the thing when meta becomes so solid. Like, if you can find a way to upset it, you are actually ahead on the front foot.
That's true. That's for
So
sure.
that might be something to do with it. And if you do look at the scoreboard there, you see once the esports all got rifles in their hand, since they've got rifles in their hand, they've only dropped one game. So sometimes people just have a bad pistol, and then obviously they lose the they lose the eco. 9 times out of 10, round 2 eco is nearly always lost, especially in defense when the attacking team can just like walk up to you with these mint guns and armor.
Yeah,
you know?
true.
So maybe EsportsOrg just always were a slightly better team, and then or the slightly better lineup. I don't know.
I know we're seeing, and this is a gorgeous shot. Look at what's going on. As Sid going through. A bit more confident. Mijo though with a beautiful reswing. Mijo with a beautiful reswing onto 2 as well. MJT not quite the steamroller that we're seeing out of them, but Daki's positioning beautifully done. The orbital strike played around beautifully as well from the Swans. And I think if you're the Swans, you just want to get the spike down. But look who's got the spike, and look where he is. He's stuck on that bench. He's stuck in hell. He's been buried by JK Monkey. Lou fallen, and now there's only 13 seconds left. They have to do something kind of wacky because EsportsOrg have all the cards.
There we are. And I do love how they opted to plant it away from the Radianite boxes, and that was so close. That could have secured the round if that landed on his feet. Swans have got Halsey standing only. The spike will be tapped. Halsey gets one, but Kurakawa, like I said, maybe not getting the top frags of the duelist, but the frags that Kurakawa is getting have all been so crucial. Beautiful kill there, going to secure that defuse.
That was massive. And looking back on it, because I wanted to say, so what we've seen from the start as well was Sid. So that's a really nice camera from Kroto. So coming into A, like basically as you're breaking onto the site, you have to stop to kind of peek boxes and shoot that camera up in your top right. And when Sid shot that round, I was going, oh, okay, cool. You know, we are seeing a bit more of an adaptation, a bit more of an understanding of how this comp works, where the setups are. But it really wasn't enough because Mijo, again, bottom of the scoreboard was not bottom of that round. Mijo carried that round. Like, Mijo absolutely went off. I've never noticed the shower makes a face. That's cute as hell.
You've never seen that?
No, I've never seen that. That's cute as hell. But yeah, what we want to be seeing, I think, is more of what MJT is about to do. But he's already at 30 health, so maybe never mind.
Yeah, it's not like a big Instagram or anything, but one of my favorite Instagrams, there's only hundreds of followers. It's just So You Like Faces, and he just takes pictures of stuff like that in the real world that looks like a face. It's great.
I've had one recently. It's quite off topic, but as esports, I mean, we're seeing. Okay, what is this super delayed retake from? I mean, we're still seeing.
It's tentative. It's careful. It's not super fast, but look how methodical it is, clearing angles together. And this is where, in those lower ranked public matches, you'll see defensive teams just get dropped one by one because they do everything separately. They clear angles separately. You see the way EsportsOrg with that beautiful high angle. We're walking around those angles together. Really, really beautiful stuff. And spikes diffused.
That's the thing.
Swan's still standing. Swan's still standing with the spikes diffused.
That's the thing. So I wanted to say, because what we've seen there from Daki, and that was kind of the rotate I'd mentioned. And actually, again, Bigfoot, kind of going back to what you said, that Sentinel sitting on a site, and there's just nothing. They're not experiencing it. And Daki's very much getting on that. Like, I know you mentioned particularly for the Cyphers and the Killjoys, which is very much true, but sometimes Chamber can experience that, where very much retake simulator is the name that kind of throws back around. You're not taking any engagements. There's no fights that are coming to you. You're very much just having to pick up shot, move to A site, and get shot, usually on your way traveling to A site. And it's very difficult. And it was a really beautiful flank from Daki, and it was played super patiently. But EsportsOrg, as soon as they needed to, they got the space, they got the abilities, and they pushed through. And it meant that Daki couldn't be as effective as otherwise, and he was so close to being a round winner.
I mean, do you remember like last October when you could teleport from A to B as Chamber?
Oh, that was...
Literally. So you're talking about being left behind. Like, before that big teleporter nerf, you could just go from A to B. In a second. Not even a second, like instantly. Bang, I'm on B. 20 seconds later, bang, I'm on A.
It was wacky.
It was the only map you could do that. But yeah, it was this map. It was crazy. It was a slightly awkward spot. So it was on that right-hand side corner when you're heading out of Hooker in the sand towards Lamps. So Lamps was quite safe, but that little spot on Hooker, the spot on the sands wasn't the safest spot to teleport to. You should have to know it was safe. But still, You could just go between the sites every 20 seconds. It's crazy.
Speaking of going, this looks like it's about to happen. We have one lurk from the cipher from esports.org on the A side there, but the rest of it. Oh, never mind. Croto just goes down.
Headshot.
What a gorgeous shot from Daggy. That's the type of engagement he was looking for. Sid beautifully plays around the snatch, and because of it, actually, nearly close to 2, but JK Monkey, Bob's... No. That fireworks display from MJT!
Love it! And the shorty! And the classic! And
What
the
is
shorty versus the classic, and the frenzy tries to get picked up, but Skull spins on a boss, and the shorty is reloaded with a headshot. Nice.
I don't know what just happened. You did that. You adapted to that so fast. God damn, man. Well done. That was insane. That was
Chaos, mate.
That was wacky. That was so good.
Order out of a budget chaos. But yeah, it was full pistol rounds, just going absolute popping off.
That was mental. That again, like really well played, and it's nice to let Swans get a round on the board because they haven't in so long. Is that 7 rounds? No, that's 8. That's an 8 rounds back to back from EsportsOrg. It was 2-1 and then it ended 9-2 or no, sorry, 8-4. But like it ended that, and it was just. Like, the level we've seen from them is kind of impressive. And this level of util explosion, Hoylesy being caught through, the same with MJT on the Fair Eye. However, Mijo being put onto Earth by the amount of util. Hoylesy picking up another one, and maybe all the Swans needed to do was just get to defense.
Maybe all esports need to do is get to Vandals. We'll see what happens next round.
True. Daggy, Hoylesy, and Sid all happy enough to pick up one, but maybe this is a repeat of last time where the Swans are only good for 2, and then esports.org congratulate them on what is very much their consolation prize before walking away with the rest of the map.
Yeah, I mean, maybe esports, or maybe their strength just isn't pistol rounds, or maybe MJT is just a thorn in the side of the pistol rounds that they expect to happen. I mean, it definitely is a thorn in the side. Still, you got esports.org way ahead, but MJT way ahead of Kurokawa.
Yeah, that's actually a good point, you know, to see. But even look at the kill distribution as total. There's not a big, there's not a big gap or disparity in them. You know, it's really only a couple. The leaderboard kind of looking pretty similar. It came down to whether MJT could get that second kill on the Croto. Unfortunately, he couldn't. Hoylesy, can you get the timing? He's heard the reload, but no. Croto's going to try and get out, and now all he wants to do is upgrade from a Spectre to something a bit bigger. He hears the
yes.
Yeah, he hears the audio, he hears the steps, and that's going to be enough as well. Really good adaptation. The smokes were about to go down, but now all of a sudden Swans picked up 2 kills, and that's 2 proper guns. They're happy with this. Oh,
I'm happy with that too. A nice little upgrade, we said. Maybe esports.org just needed to get their Vandals out, but the Swans have now got their Vandals.
The Swans have got their Vandals out.
So Kurokawa making that push into sight with the Leah looking nice, and a really, really good headshot onto Lou there. Lou falls straight away just as that smoke dissipates.
But
Sid
it's been
in a
patched.
very, very sexy position
cue,
here, though.
Lou. There was an audio cue.
No, but maybe just waiting for Halsey, because 2v2 is better than 1v2.
Try.
30 seconds left.
And one thing one thing I've noticed about them so far is they're very, very good at playing together. I spoke about A site before when we had that nice high angle.
Yeah.
And we saw them clearing the site together, so if any of them died, there was an available trade. And you look at their positioning on the map. They're like now as I start saying it, they're splitting up, but they were sticking right together, holding angles together.
Very close. Oh, and that peek from Kurokawa was brilliant, and it means Bobs is able to get a beautiful shot onto it. Again, only something to do. And unfortunately for Hoylesy, he's not going to check that as esports.org pick up another. And again, even when they're playing, even when, you know, being stitched to each other at the side, when they're able to kind of break those stitches and play separately, they're still playing for each other, which is such a
100%,
difficult
100%.
thing to do when you're playing separately, but they're doing it so beautifully on the side of esports.org.
It wasn't meant to be a criticism at all when I said the split up. It was noting it happening, because splitting up was actually the right. I think they had the info on Halsey's push, but even if whether they did or not, it was the right decision to do, to split up and make sure they were also watching long.
Yeah, and I like to
so well.
Going off of like the info that they had, that maybe esports.org had or didn't. The plant on tube was not the default in any way. It was like closer to CT than it was to the T side, so closer to Garden, which is normally where you want to plant. And I think that was a really good read from EsportsOrg, but it might have been a really good read from the context of knowing the information that you don't have. So they were confident that neither of the Swans members were on CT, but they didn't know that. And so that, I think, was a really good spike placement for kind of a hedging bet situation of, we're confident that they're here, but we could be wrong.
It's another thing on the Bigfoot bingo I love to see is a non-meta plant. You know,
yeah, I love it. Yeah,
meta plants
so
are meta because they're great, but there's some non-meta plants that are just actually insane. And if someone's never dealt with a plant being there before, then it's like, what do I do? Where are they? They don't know what to expect.
And they put a lot of util to where the normal plant is, and then it's wasted because the normal plant's not there, which is even smarter, which is even better. Speaking of, this is going to be a big fight. Daki.
30 seconds left.
Daki, no, you've been able to hit those before. There's maybe just a little bit of shakiness from the Swans, because Daki's hit that through and through. Time and time again, we've seen Daki hit those.
Oh, MJT flicks so fast onto the tripwire, but distracted just for milliseconds will be taken out.
Croto messing up the spray on Daki, but because of it getting another pick as kind of a concessionary, as now it's just on Sid to try and save it. And to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not quite sure how this became a 3v1.
It all happened in like a second. There was like 6-7 kills on the board. There was both teams standing. Swans tried for the retake. Somehow EsportsWales came out on top of all the trades, and Kurikawa can't quite grasp that 1v3, and I'm not surprised. It was a really, really awkward one to pull off, especially with the clock ticking so fast. So that will be EsportsWales onto 11 points now. Swans struggling to catch up when they just dominated so hard previously.
That's, I mean, yeah, like going back, like this is a completely different, I don't want to say it's a completely different team that the Swans are, but they're going against a completely different beast from EsportsOrg. They're going against, like, that Fade Eye was just beautiful from Bubs. Like, that was uncounterable for Sid. Sid couldn't see that eye, and the eye could see him. Like, that's a one-way with a Fade Eye, which is complete X-ray vision through all walls, the Haunt effect, which I believe is minus 40 HP, and the trail for the Prowler to then follow. Like, when a Fade Eye hits in that type of circumstance, particularly, incredible things can be opened up, and that's exactly what we see.
Daki's sneaking around here. This Boombot's gonna, he's gonna find him. He's gonna have to swing. Oh,
He didn't pull the trigger.
Holding on, trying to get a headshot before teleporting, but that held on just a little bit too long there.
I'm not sure he had the teleport down. I think he just properly forgot to set it.
Did he not set it?
I
I don't think he was glowing. I think you're right. I think I just assumed it would be set because that's what you would assume to do. And speaking of these non-meta plants, we see it again. EsportsOrg, if it comes to this retake for Swans, they're going to be thrown off by this weirdly positioned spike yet again.
They're not going to have as well, like, adapting to the teleporting, to the double teleporter sound. They know where it is. Yeah, JK Monk, like, EsportsOrg are kind of getting to the point now where the Swans rotation has always been almost from where T-side is. It's almost been through the opposing spawn. So EsportsOrg have adapted super quick, and they've started saying, look, if you want to basically swap sides, we'll plant closer to CT. We'll plant closer to CT and make you fight us in Heaven and make you fight us in like A-Link, like from T-side. And it doesn't look like Swans have any clue how to fight that, as you'd mentioned.
You never know, though. They've got a full buy. It's their last chance. They just need to get 7 rounds in a row.
It's possible.
I mean, EsportsOrg did it when they were defending.
True. That they did.
I think one thing that's happened as well is Swan's confidence has been messed with a little bit. Like a lot of their power comes from their confident aggression, and if that's been shut down a couple of times, it can sometimes like take your trump card out, your deck.
Yeah.
And there's two different answers to that. Is you just keep doing it, which might be suicidal, or you and also might keep you on, get you back on top, or you adjust. And it looks like they've landed somewhere in the middle. Tried it again a few times, has backfired a little bit, but they have made adjustments. But whatever they're doing, EsportsWales just been running rings around them.
I think running rings is kind of like running circles. Like, again, like the utility as well that Swans have been trying to use, like, it's been close to effective, but EsportsWales have always just managed to work around it or just like counterplayed off of it that well. This is something we're going to need to see, because that's a beautiful shot from Sid. Immediately caught back up to though from Crow2 on that lurk, and it's all going to come down to whether he takes out Daki here. Like, while there's this fight going on in in B, sorry, there's also just 2 members, one from each side, fighting each other in B. They've now met in Teleporter at Sand. Daki's able to come up with it, but the spike's going to go down. Daki's got the location, but honestly, a beautiful Nightfall to drop onto Daki, as it means Kurakawa can swing. Doesn't get one though. And now Daki actually might have the backup of Halsey. That Nightfall's about to fall out. Bubs though, beautiful shooting, and now both of them playing together. Bigfoot, you'd mentioned it before, doesn't need it. Bubs doesn't need that backup, as they bring it 13-5 to EsportsOrg.
Bubs secured it so well there. Just Swans almost got one more on the board, but like I said, there would have been 6 more they need to get in a row after that. So storming into the Welsh Esports League all the way from England, EsportsOrg looking good.
I mean, it's definitely. I mean, it might be a joke name, but they're no joke. I mean, I think is the quickest way to put that through. I mean, we'd seen some absolutely incredible stuff, and hopefully we will be getting to have a look at that scoreboard. There we go, beautifully. Like, let's just have a look at it actually very quickly, and have a look at it with me, ladies and gentlemen, as well. So we'd seen so much happen from the side of EsportsOrg in terms of every member just acting so well, playing so cohesively. The way Bigfoot had mentioned, it was nothing short of being attached to the hip, playing 2 versus 1s, 3 versus 2s. There was always a man advantage for them, and they were always taking it the way they could. The fun fact is, top 2 players in that leaderboard, neither of them are from EsportsOrg.
MJT and Halsey.
Yeah. So despite the fact you had a very confident 13-5 from EsportsOrg, neither top spot taken by an EsportsOrg member.
But again, it comes back to that cohesion, man. They were like glued to the hip where they needed to be, so the kills were spread out. The trades were coming in thick and fast when they needed to. The average, actually, you know what it is? Swans really, really held their own with kills in that game. Whether they could hold it in rounds or not, they've really held their own with kills.
That's the thing, like, and it is something I want to, like, every round I want to say was at most a 1 versus 1 by the end, maybe a 1 versus 2. A lot of the rounds did start though with a plant down and like 8 players alive. That changed the next second sometimes, and quite frequently actually, but for a lot of the time it would be the plant would go down, there was maybe a second, 2 seconds of like quiet, and then all of a sudden 5 people would just hit the floor. And when it was doing it, when it came down to it, it looks like it was EsportsOrg that were the ones that were kind of, you know, putting Swan into the floor.
I just done some quick maths there, and so we got EsportsOrg on a total of 70 kills. So that's an average of 14 per player. Yep. And then we got Swans on a total of 64 kills. It's an average of 13 per player. So kills is almost the same. Average.
6 kill difference despite 8 rounds.
Yeah, it's huge. So like Swans can frag, but like the EsportsOrg, man, just with their retakes and keeping the spike down, came out on top.
Damn, that's interesting. And another thing, because it's always something I want to look at here, and I just want to very quickly get it through. So looking at the first blood kind of differentials, because in my opinion, usually what you end up seeing is a round that you get a first blood on is a round you win. So usually what would happen is in a 13-5, typically it's pretty common to see it. The winning team, 13 first bloods. The losing team, 5 first bloods. So let's have a look and check. That doesn't look like it's the case. I'm just doing some of the math very quick here. So it looks like it was 9 first bloods for the side. 9 first bloods for the side.
Swans.
For the side of Swans. And then that would mean 9 first bloods for the side of EsportsOrg. So even when the Swans were having a man advantage up or something, EsportsOrg were rotating, were repositioning, were just playing off of the remaining squad so effectively that you've got a 50-50 split on who's getting a first blood, and it still comes out 13-5. That's bonkers. That's actually insane.
Yeah, so it's actually, the match, when you bring the statistics into it, was closer than it looked. With the rounds going through.
Super even. It's honestly kind of scarily even. Yeah, wow.
But it's
That's-
not a death match. You know, it's a get the spike down. I mean, yes, you can win a round by winning the death match and taking away everyone's life in one round, but realistically, it's also about spike down or retakes. And
Leiko was very much following that philosophy of this is a death match in that round with the ace. I am playing death match now. I will see you all next round when we will go back to standard Valorant. But yeah, wow, that was domineering from the side of EsportsWales.
yeah, really good stuff. So, EsportsWales, welcome to the Welsh Esports League,
Yeah.
and it's good to have you. Upsetting the what's the word? The hierarchy in this league a little bit, as we do welcome in players from other countries, and yeah, I think there's a couple more new teams as well. So just before we go, I'm just gonna read out the team names that we didn't get to see tonight.
Let's hear some fresh blood. Yeah, let's hear some fresh blood.
Pirates, we had last season. They won. They tapped out this season for whatever reason. Pit Ponies, they've been around since the start. Swans have been around since the start. The Dragons have been around since the start. The Robs have been around since the start. But we have new esports organisation with a little English flag, and we've got Ronda Rising with a Welsh flag. So that's a new team for me. Team Shie. SHIE.
I'll go for Shea.
Yeah, part English, part Welsh team. Ronda Rising, English and Welsh mix again. Couple of the English players aren't entered though. 2 of them, so that make me predominantly Welsh. And the Wolfhounds do like that name. That's another new team, and they're all Welsh. So I recognise some of these players too. So it's just a new name.
It's nice. It's nice to hear that we're getting some teams that are still very much Welsh prevalent. As obviously
it's still almost completely Welsh Esports League. It's only esports organisation that have signed up with a non-Welsh team. Everyone else is predominantly Welsh. So we can't be having this. Wales. We can't be having the English storm across the border and take your cup. So we'll have to see how this narrative plays out over the next not few weeks. It's about 4 or 5 weeks, I think. We'll be here knocking through a really, really good group stage and elimination stage. Once we're going through the group stage, we'll have semi-finals, Group A winner versus Group B runner-up, and then Group B winner versus Group A runner-up, and the final coming through after that. In the group stage so far, not everyone's played enough matches to really talk about what the points are saying, so we'll get into that at the end of the streams over the coming weeks. Right now, some teams have only played 1 match.
Oh yeah?
And some have played 2.
I can't wait to get into them. We've got an exciting time ahead of us. But yeah,
it's been a pleasure having you with us, mate. We haven't cast together for a while. I'm glad your IRL life's going well. Me too. And it's nice to see you. I'll try and catch you soon in real life too. And hopefully we'll have you back in the Welsh Esports League before this season's over.
Yeah, thank you very much for the invite. It's been nothing short of a pleasure. Again, lovely catching up with you. Very big thanks to everyone that's been putting this together. Obviously, production, OBS, everyone you have done smashingly. That went super smoothly. For everyone at home watching, thank you very much for joining me on what was my first, but hopefully not last venture into the Welsh Esports League. But yeah, thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. I'm Mad Dante Killer, full of all, but we've shortened it down to just that to make it a bit easier for everyone.
Rebranding.
But yeah, I'm a bit grounded. Yeah, basically that's been exactly what's happened. But yeah, that's all from me. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, and again, thanks to the production and everyone behind the scenes. And we'll see you next week, same time, same place.